Hello, 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 I'm back. Yesterday was not here, I know. But you know, sometimes I also have to do stuff. I mean, not very often, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. Hello, good evening, Tua. Hi. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another development stream of our MMO. We have a picture of the day of a strange creature. So what I want to do today, I want to work a bit on nav meshes because in theory, you know, a real engine should be all nice and easy, already pre-set up, you know, and everything should work as expected, but unfortunately very often it's not like that. And we found out an issue, you know, related to navigation meshes. Navigation meshes are basically what allows NPC to move around, let's say not in a straight line, but to move around with pathfinding, right? And so this means that if I am this guy, right, and I ask that NPC to follow me, right, he follows me, but he follows me up to the extent that there are navigation meshes. So if I jump, for example, on top of this, you see that he's smart enough to go all around and take the stair. If I jump down again, the poor guy has to go all the way around again. Oh, okay. Yeah, he arrived from this way and not from that way. So this is actually what is called pathfinding, right? And this means that the NPC is trying to find out what is the shortest route to a certain position, right? A certain location. And obviously, if I'm in an impossible place like this that he will never be able to reach, then he will just try to reach the closest place. For example, that. I don't know why he chose the left and not the right. I have no idea. But that is what he decided to go. While, like in this case, he knows that he can reach me, and so he's going all the way around until he actually, yes, he's in range of 0.5 meters, I think, from me, right? So, and you may say, oh, very nice, it works perfectly. Yes, in reality it does, but the problem is that it works only if the level has navigation meshes properly calculated, right? And navigation meshes is basically the path that the NPC can do, you know, to reach a specific location. And sometimes, you know, this may fail if you have too much of a steep stair, or maybe there are places like this one, you know, that is actually not reachable because it's just a cube, and so there is no way to go up. So you can configure the angle. You have a number of configurations that you can use to actually tell the engine how to generate a navigation mesh. Now the problem is that the navigation mesh is not automatically generated, so you need to ask the engine to do it. So for example, if I decide to move something, right, if I move this thing, right, and I enable, you see that this part becomes red, and it becomes red because the engine is recalculating the navigation meshes in that particular area, right? The same is if I add, you know, any other obstacle or any other stuff. So our problem, and yes, the green is the navigation mesh, right? So I can enable it by pressing P, and it shows me the navigation mesh. Now the problem is that our world is actually fairly big, and in this test project, because I created a test project just to test it, right? Hello, Hula. Hi. You know, I have created 2 tiles right? So 2 maps. Actually, we have 3 maps. Wait, we have 3 maps. We have a map 000, which is actually containing only the geometry, right? That small level there. We have map 1 that I'm hiding now, which is all this block, right? Including this piece. And then we have map 2, which at the moment is basically this other tile of landscape, right? That one, right? So this is map 2. This is map 2. Now, yes, map 1 and map 0 are kind of overlapping, but no one cares actually, so it's perfectly fine that they overlap now. If we want, we could take this and kind of, you know, move it up a bit or whatever, so that they are not really overlapping, right? So now what I want to say is that yeah, that we need to regenerate, you know, we need to regenerate the navigation mesh, and every time you move stuff, you know, the navigation mesh is getting regenerated, right? Now, in theory, our world is pretty much made of, you know, static meshes for the most part. So where NPC can walk is in theory a fixed area. So in fact, in our project settings, what I did, I have set, you know, the navigation, which is here, navigation mesh, to runtime generation static. So static means that there is no navigation created on the fly. Everything is predetermined and pre-generated, right? And so you have to generate it before shipping the game, right? Or before running the game. Now, can we make it dynamic? Yeah, in theory we can make it dynamic, but feedback from different people says that making it dynamic is decreasing the performances significantly, right? So is having a pretty big impact at runtime. Even more if you have a large number of NPC, which we have, right? So at the moment our server is loading 1,500 NPC, and all of them in theory could move, right? Not all of them are moving really, but they could, right? For sure the monster can if you attack them, but by default they kind of stand still at the moment, right? So some of them are moving though. Some of them have daily cycles and such. Now, it's very important to remember that we have 2 ways of moving NPC. One is on predefined path, and when we have a predefined path, we don't need this navigation. So the predefined path is just a straight line, you know, between one point and the other, and the NPC can move in a straight line even with 0 navigation, right? So we could say that in the areas where we don't think our NPC needs to find a path in a smart way, we could also avoid having the navigation, right? The problem is that when you are using level streaming like we do and world composition, you know, basically your world, which in this case you can see as this, is composed of different maps. And something that I didn't fully understand yet, and is the purpose of tonight, is to understand how we can generate this nav mesh in a kind of a smart way. So the thing that I know, and the thing that we tested, and maybe I can even start to document it a bit, right? Because otherwise then I will forget. I'm pretty sure that I will, you know. I will test it tonight and then forget it. So my rule is document everything if you can. So I don't know if I want to put it here under here under engine, or maybe yes for now. I think it's okay. I think we can put it here under engine. We can just create another, you know, PS Unreal navigation meshes, something like that. and we can create a page which is exactly like that, and we can start to just record some ideas, right? So so test performed. So let's write down a few let's do some tests and write down exactly what is the result. The first test that I want to do, so let's say our setup is important to specify the setup, right? So our setup is one persistent level containing the lights, basically nothing else, and the skybox, right? Containing the lights in the skybox, and then we have, you know, a number of sub levels, with we'll say with geometry and landscape, and we are using at the moment project setting nav mesh generation static, right? So this is pretty much our current setup is as simple as that, right? And in our case, we have 3 sub-levels. So the test is, I want to do a number of tests. The first is, you know, load the persistent level. Maybe I will call it P in for short, because otherwise I have to type persistent level all the time and I become crazy. So let's say we load the P level and rebuild. Another setup that we have at the moment, we have one nav mesh boundary. What is the name? Nav mesh bounds volume. So we have one nav mesh bounds volume for each of the sub map. Now, I think this nav mesh is inside the persistent or not. No, it's inside the map. Okay, I put it inside the map at the moment. I put it inside the map. Okay, this is the first thing that is weird, because actually I thought that the only way it was working was if these things were all in the persistent level. Because actually in our setup in plane shift, we have them in the persistent level. We don't have them in the sub levels. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, anyway, at the moment we have one national value for each sub map, you know, stored in the sub map itself, right? So it's not in the persistent level, they are inside each map. So we load the P level and we rebuild paths, right? Now I want to understand what is happening, right? I want to understand what is happening in this case. So load the P11 and rebuild the path, and I can build the path like this. The first thing I want to see is if my maps, so where is the data going, right? Because that's my main question that I'm trying to understand, right? So if I do a save all, do you think the sub maps have been changed? 947 is now, yeah, you see that all the sub maps have been changed. 8 and 9, so 8 megabyte and 9 megabytes, and my main map is what? Is 8 megabyte as well. Okay, and build data. So it seems that, okay, so let me delete, for example, one of them. Okay, can I delete it and then undo, or I will lose it forever? That's a good question. I think I may lose it forever, I think I may lose it forever. Okay, anyway, let's lose it. I mean, if we have to lose it, let's lose it. There is nav mesh map 01, yes. Okay, so if I delete it, right? So now I deleted this in map 01 and I rebuild my path. And I save everything. Now, this one didn't change. I mean, it's 8 megabytes, so it's pretty much as it was before. Yes, but you can see the map 01 is now 3 megabyte only. So instead of 8. So definitely the nav mesh is stored inside the map, which is super annoying. It's a very bad idea, but anyway, that's what it is. Now I didn't check my build data, if my build data changed. Let me see if I can undo. No, I cannot undo after map saved. Okay, GG. So the build data anyway is 175 and has not even touched, you know, not even been touched. So it really looks like, so let's say general findings. General findings is that the nav mesh is stored in the UMap, file, and not in the build data file, right? Which is something important to remember. Now I want to see how much this nav mesh file so if I redo it now, so this is 127. So I want to understand if the nav mesh is actually, I mean, for sure it is, but if it's influenced by the complexity, right? I think it is, but let's see. So map 1 now is again 8.8 megabyte, right? Is 8.8 megabytes. So now if I go in my map 1, I go in landscape, and so let's say the size of the nav mesh is, so the difference is about 5 megabytes, okay? Is about 5 megabytes for a landscape level with now the size of this thing was 127,000, right? So I think site level with 127,000 units. I think what I did 127 by 127, 167 by 167 was the cell size, and the cell number was 10. So basically the total was 127,000, right? So I think, so it's a kind of a square of 127 by 127. I think that's what it is, if I remember right. So now the question is, if I go in landscape mode, right, and I start to change this landscape significantly, right? So I'm putting a lot of, you know, up and downs here. The question is, do you think that the size will change? I mean, because that's important for me to know, you know. So if I have to spend more memory, okay, let's say like this is enough. So our file at the moment is 8847, right? If I rebuild, and why I'm doing that? Because we have a problem, and the problem is that we, at the moment, if I try to regenerate the mesh on the world map, I'm getting like plus 2 gigabyte of RAM, right, used, and that's too much. Cannot live with that, unfortunately. Okay, so this one increased from 8.8 to 10.9, right? So definitely yes. So the complexity of the terrain definitely makes a difference in the sides of our, probably because there is a kind of a compression or kind of an algorithm to simplify. Okay, but yes, it makes a difference. I mean, it's not an incredible difference, but anyway, it's a difference, right? It is a difference. So I assume that if I add yeah, I don't know exactly what I want to prove with this, but the point is that it's not just the fact that the landscape exists that is adding megabytes, but it's also, let's say, how different it is. So I don't know if it's storing the path between all these patches, or I have no idea, but possible. So if the complexity become you see that is regenerating, you see this red thingy is him regenerating the path, right? Now if I add a mountain like that, so 10,994, right? 10,994, 10,994, 11,022. Well, consider also that we are adding a bit of yes, we cannot really evaluate if we are adding complexity to the height map or we are adding complexity to the nav mesh, because at the moment both are stored inside the map. So he has to store the new height map and he has to store the new nav mesh. But maybe for that we can do a small test. We can remove the nav mesh. And we can, you see how is it regenerating it? Look, it's regenerating it on the other map because we deleted nav mesh, and so now it's regenerating it everywhere. So this would be the dynamic way that now is using in the editor to actually regenerate the movement. Right, but we don't care about that. No, what I wanted to say is, without a nav mesh, if I save it this way... Really? No, wait. I need to rebuild the path. I need to rebuild the path. So... yes. So significantly lower. 5274, 5274. So if I make this thing completely flat, it means that the landscape is probably not making a difference, right? I'm making the landscape completely flat now. What I mean is that the height map is consuming the same amount of let me check. 5274. I saved it now. 3758. No, actually also the height map is obviously making a difference. Okay. So probably there is some compression going on, so there is some smart algorithm that is considering if it's flat or not flat. But yes, basically, as you can see, as soon as I put stuff, I get an increased size for the height map, and I get an increased size for my Now, I don't know if it's proportional, but I don't know if I care really that it's proportional. So basically we get, okay. Now basically what we are saying is that between between a level with no height map and a level with height map, right? If I save it like that, so I go and I am at 7.8. Now if I add my thingy, if I add my thingy, wait, I'm messing up. If I add my thingy, now the fact that it's in the other level, I don't know if, yeah, it will make a difference, obviously. No, I need to move that that new thing to my map 02, to my map 01, I mean. Is already map 01? How does it know? Because I had it selected. Okay, good. So if I build a path, okay, and now I'm at 7, 8, 19. Wow, 14, 5, 38. Holy shit. So it seems there are more tiles. I mean, the highest the mountain, the more tiles you have. Because he has to cover more space, right? He has to cover more space. He has to cover more space. Because, you know, the idea would be, you know, I don't care about the... Can I paint nav mesh? No, huh? I mean, can I exclude this area, for example? Well, I could exclude it with the height, so I can go lower, but it's not exactly what I mean, because maybe I have this small space, you know, that I need. Because I'm thinking, if I put the nav mesh only in the areas that are really navigable, am I saving, you know, am I saving space and memory and everything? Maybe the answer is yes. Yeah, because you see, we bumped, you know, immediately from 7 to 14. So basically we doubled the size and equal the memory of this thing. And our problem is that at the moment you see here 2 levels, right? But we actually have so many, right? We have like, I don't know how many we have now in the new picture. I don't know if I can count this, but basically this line is full. Okay, so this line is 12. This line here is 12. This line here is also full, is another 12. This as well is another 12. 0003, I have no idea if we want to keep it, by the way. But definitely there is 36 just in this block. Right, 36, and then we have 3, 6, 9, 10, so we have 46. This is 3, 6, 9, I don't know, I cannot even count in this mess, but let's say that between this and this is at least another 10. So it's about 56. Plus there are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's say 60. So we have about 60 levels, right? That we are 60 levels that we are managing. We have about 60 levels. So plus, yes, plus we have all the underground, right? Because there are certain areas that are multi-layer, right? So that all the underground is actually right. So because we have some levels that have dungeons, and dungeons maybe are multi-level, and so every level has its own navigation, and so that's definitely not making things simpler for us. Okay, the only thing is that at the moment I see that the navigation, if I put it in the sub map, right, is actually stored within the sub map. And it seems to me that this is kind of working, right? Like if I ask that guy to follow me, he follows me anyway. This mountain are very far away, but anyway. Yeah, let me add a mountain which is a bit closer, otherwise we run for 2 hours. Right. So if I ask this guy to follow me, right? Okay. Yeah, consider he can go where I can go. So the only problem is if I go by jumping, right, in some places that he cannot reach. And so in that case, he will not be able to reach me. But as long as there is a path, yes. As long as there is a path. You see here, for example, what he did. He went all the way because that's the only place. So as long as there is a path, he follows me, which is great. Now the level that we are loading. Now this is something that I want to understand. Are we loading the persistent level? Yes, we are loading the persistent level because this is the one that we loaded in. So I think it makes no difference, right? So if I load the yeah, but anyway, he's follow me as he can, right? He does his best to follow me. Now a different thing is if so let's say that with the nav mesh bound volume in each sub map, you know, we see that I think we will have multiple setups. This is setup 1, you know, and this is the test. And I don't think that this is actually. I think this is actually going into. Well, I don't know. The general file, maybe the sides. But basically, what we see is that the nav mesh is stored in the UMap file and not in the build data file, and also the nav mesh is stored in each UMap, I mean in each sub map, in each sub level, right? So it's restored in the sub level, which is something that is not happening for our game today. Now, if I take this navigation meshes, right, and I move them, let's say that I take this and I move it to my persistent level, right? I take this two. And I move both actors to the persistent level, right? And in this case, these are light mass, so it's not really relevant. And I rebuild the path. In this case, I think that the nav mesh will be all in the persistent level, right? Will be all in the persistent level. So I will see these files going down. Well, didn't go down much though. 7K and 4K. Yeah, but this one you see is 20 megabytes. And it is exactly what is happening to me in plane shift, that I get a persistent level of 20 megabytes, right? So actually it seems that both setup work okay. I was not expecting that. I was expecting the other one not to work. I see that our guy is following us anyway. So if the navigation map is at the sub level, or if the navigation map is in the persistent level, it works anyway. Okay, that's interesting. Do you think it will work also in a dedicated server mode? Hello, Devro. Hula is asking, I have looking more closely. I can for some time now understand that you have a problem if you look for a solution but still don't understand what is the problem. Yeah, the problem is we have a number of problems. The first problem is that our world is pretty big, right? It's as big as this. And if we generate the navigation map for every level, and I tried the other day, this thing becomes 800 megabyte and is all stored in the persistent level. And so the persistent level is becoming 800 megabyte, and the memory required is 2.2 gigabytes, right? In addition to the game. So my idea was, it's too much, it's not really manageable. We cannot even check in the file, you know, it's a bit of a mess. So I tried to say, hey, can I move it to each map? And now it seems that I can move it to each map if I put the navigation mesh inside the map. Now, Now, one thing that I have seen is that if I keep the files like this, right? If I keep the file like this, and I download the overall map, wait, so this is setup number 1, right? Setup number 1, load the P level, rebuild the path, and the mesh is stored in each sub level. So in theory, this one works fine. If I load the sub level only, do I see it? Obviously not. In this case, I will not see it because there is the second setup. There is the second setup. The second setup is all nav mesh bound volumes in the P level, in the persistent level, right? So if I load the P level and rebuild the path, the result is that I'm getting. Sorry, this one is actually a general finding. I think I can put it here, which is probably easy. The nav mesh is stored, all nav meshes, so in this case all nav meshes are stored in the P level UMAP file, right? And this is definitely a problem. Also, if I open what I want to see, if I open a sub map now, For example, I open map 01, and so now here I have only 01, and I ask to visualize you see that it's not here, right? So obviously it's not here. I mean, that's obvious, but so if I open a sub map, the nav mesh is not there. It's not displayed, right? Which I think is okay though. While in this case, I'm doing some tests, you know, that may be a bit obvious, but I want to be sure that I understand, you know, that I do it from the beginning, so I get a good grasp on what is actually happening, right? I get a good grasp on what is going on and why, and you know. So if I now reach, so I want to move this back to their original maps. So this one is map 01, so I want to move this actor to this map, and I want to move this actor to this map. So now basically the nav meshes are again in the case number 1. So inside the sub maps, right? They are inside the sub maps. Now the question is, if I open up, and I can save it. If I open up the single map, in theory I will see it. Yes, I see it. Obviously, this is kind of cut off, you know, compared to the... Yeah, I mean, if we have an end of the level, it will be cut off, but this is actually available. Okay, so basically the takeaway here is that if I open a sub map, so if I open a sub map here, the nav mesh is displayed, right? I mean, pretty much as expected, I have to say. So okay, so I need to go to the bathroom 1 second, but I will be back. 1 second. Is there a... No, eating dinner? No. No. Eating dinner? No. It's not the right message. It's not the right message. Bathroom, 1 minute. There is a better message. Okay, 1 second, huh? Okay. So, so the question is, I lost the thingy. Oh, no, it's here. Sorry, no. So I think that we can put it in each sub level, which is much better, right? Which is much better. Now my question is, if I think the answer is no, but let me see. If I take this one, right? If I take this sub mesh and I regenerate it, because that's the point, you know. So now I have the sub mesh, I have the navigation mesh inside the sub level, right? And it is map, 0, 0, 2, and this is map 0, 1, right? So the question is, if I regenerate the path, so how big is this one? It is map 0, 1. It is map 0, 1, 21 megabytes. Holy shit! Why it became 21 megabytes now? What? You see that there is a problem. Wait. Let me open up my map 02. No, actually the mesh is there. The mesh is there. Yeah, but why? Well, I think it's that big because there is a lot of up and down in that map. Yes. Wow, so it's 21 megabytes. Holy shit. One map. Okay. GG. So the question is, if I take this map 01, let's go in the... Let's go in map 01, right? Let's go in map 01, which is this. And in map 01, I regenerate. Now the value is 21212. Okay. And I rebuild the path only on this guy separately. So I'm in the sub map and I'm regenerating the navigation only on that sub map, right? You see that it became, you see that now it's 14 megabytes. Oh my god. There is something fishy going on here. There is something fishy going on here. This is very strange. Okay, anyway. Let me redo the same on map 02. Map 02 now is 14 megabyte as well. I save it. Becomes 9. So it seems that there is more information when you regenerate it at the persistent level. So it's actually smaller if it's done within the map. The problem, I think, will be the connection between the two. That could be a big issue. That could be a big issue. Okay, anyway. Now that we did the test. Okay, now we did the test. And now we reopen the persistent level, right? And in the persistent level, I want to see map 01, map 02, and I want to see the navigation. And the navigation is actually here. I don't know if it's recalculating. Do you think it's recalculating it? Because in theory, it should not, huh? In theory, it should not. In theory, it should not. So the guy follows me. Hello, Electra. I'm doing good. I'm working on path and movement. So because we have an issue. It's a bit long to explain, but we have an issue, and I want to understand how to fix it. Okay, map 02 is in this direction, huh? So maybe let me do this. Let me put some let me put this one in map 01. Right. So I have to go in that direction, huh? Oh my god, it's super far. But fine. So I have to go in this direction, and here is where we have the transition between map 1 and map 2. Okay, so this is what I would like to track, right? So this is the transition. I mean, it's not perfectly there, but anyway, let's say it's here. Okay, let's say it is there. So so if I follow it takes me forever. Let me go a bit faster. Walk speed. Walk speed 1600. Let's say 2000. 2000 speed. We go super fast now. No, we don't. Ah, yes, we accelerate. We do. We go very fast. I don't know why some people are spawning on the other side. Yeah, exactly. Why I am in the other side of the chat? I have no idea. Why I am there? In theory, that's an impossible place. I don't know. Okay, so here we have the transition. Now I didn't bring the NPC with me. Fuck. NPC! Hello? Do you think he will arrive here? I mean, he should, in theory. He's not moving. Maybe there is a maximum range? Hello? Nah, you see that? Yeah, you see the problem. The problem is that it doesn't work. Ah! Now it did. Why? There is a maximum range? That's very strange, though. What the fuck? It is possible that there is a max, but it's strange that there is a maximum range. It should not be. Like from here is not. I know, actually it is, but it was not rendered moving. Why? No, I don't understand. Something very strange happened. Basically, as soon as I moved... that's very strange. So I didn't see the guy moving, but as soon as I moved my character, I saw him like teleported next to me, or closer to me. Right? Now, I don't understand why this is actually happening. So if I press G now, he should start to come to me. But it seems he's not. Right? I don't see him. There seems to be a maximum distance. Uh-oh. Yeah, now he started moving. Is the maximum distance here, or move AI 2? I don't know if move AI 2 has a maximum range. It took me 2 months to realize the real issue. Here is the thing. There is no maximum pathfinding limit, but there is a max to the get path cost node. If the costs get too large, you just return that there is no solution. Therefore, trying to say what the actor is the closest using a path is... Okay. Okay. Well, actually we have a success node here. Switch, please. And switch on this thing. Switch on result, I don't know. What is this result thingy? Movement result. Switch on movement. No. What is this? I don't know. Why I cannot switch on this? It's not movement mode. This one for some reason is not switchable. Why is not switchable? Anyway, I can just print it, and I think it will have a printout, okay, of some kind, okay, because I want to see. It seems that there is a maximum. So like here, it's saying success, okay? It said success. Let me go far away. Now here we are very far away. Consider I'm running at a super mega speed. So in reality we are doing about 1 kilometer, right? So here I am at about 1 kilometer distance from the guy. But actually it said success. And in fact he is moving to me. Maybe I was just about at the limit. Maybe I was just about at the limit. Okay, let me try again. But this time I go a bit more far and I don't press G until I'm on top of the hill, okay? until I am on top of the hill like here. If I press G now, he's still saying success. Maybe it's just not rendered. I don't know. Maybe I cannot see him because it's too small. I don't know. He said success, but he's not coming to me. So blocked. This time he said blocked. He's saying blocked. Blocked. Aborted. Oh my god, aborted. Why? Aborted. Aborted. Where the hell is he? He went in an impossible place or what? He was hiding. I was hiding behind this. Maybe because this shit is wait. Yeah. Because that thing is floating. So maybe there is space below it, but okay, well, okay, that's unfortunate. I think the problem is just that there is some space here, and so the guy is trying to... He's getting blocked here. That's the only reason, I think. But here we are in the case where we regenerated the sub-map, right? Where we regenerated each sub-map specific... Now, by the way, this thing should be in map 02 though, not in map 01. Well, but I think it's the same. I think it's exactly the same. But I need to regenerate map... I don't know. Should I regenerate map 01 or map 02? Ah, that's probably the reason why it got blocked, because this one is in the wrong map. Yeah. Exactly. No. Okay, I understand the mistake. So we have to take all of this. And actually, or we really move it to map 02. Yeah, I think we should do that. Let's just move it all to map 02 so it's not... Wait, what is that? No, this one I don't want to select. Okay. So this one now is in map 02. The thing that you see here are just recalculation of lights. So this at the moment we don't care. Okay, so now this is really inside map 02. Okay, is it really inside map 02? So if I open map 02 alone and I rebuild the navigation path, and I save all, and I run on my main, okay. And now I go where I need to go. Yeah, there is no obstacle in between, but it's okay. I mean, we're just trying to understand if you... He said success. But I don't see him. What the fuck? Because I didn't recalculate the path on the second map? No, I don't think so. Aborted again. Why aborted? You see that he's still standing in the... aborted. Why? It's saying aborted. I don't know why it's saying aborted. Like it couldn't complete the previous one or what? That's very strange. So the first one comes out as a success. Obviously doesn't tell you anything, right? Doesn't tell you anything of the aborted or not aborted.
Bum bum bum.
Pom 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 pom.
Based on if it was this success
Tomato.
which gave us a return. This mission, which is and we hit play. You have a melee, and it'll be by default. You'll probably want to keep when we exit. We're gonna notice.
I don't understand this aborted because I would understand the failed, but I don't understand the aborted really. So if I go here, for example, which in theory is impossible, it's saying success, but it's not moving. What the fuck? Aborted. No, I think that I think we have a problem. Let me recalculate the petals on this guy. I think we have a problem. Which is what I was fearing, that if I have it's saying server success, but it's actually not moving at all. And then it goes into aborted forever. Wow, also the jump is longer. Nice. You see that it's not moving. Fuck, I need to focus this. Yeah, there is no nav mesh. You see that the nav mesh is not visible? Nav mesh is not visible. So this is exactly a reason why but we had this guy move. No, the nav mesh is not visible. Hello, Funner. Yes, my character is super fast because I wanted to cover a long distance. I wanted to cover a large distance in. But we have a problem. The problem is again that if I recalculate the navigation meshes on the single maps, right? It doesn't work. It does not work. So basically we have three setup, right? We have three setup. We have one nav mesh bound for each level, for each of the sub maps stored in the sub map itself. Then if we load the P level and we rebuild the path, the nav mesh is stored in each sub level. If I open the sub, okay, let me do it again 1 second, because here I'm confusing myself, huh? Here I'm confusing myself, huh? So at the moment, the navigation map, the nav meshes are inside the map, but I open them persistent and I build on the persistent. Okay, so I build on the persistent level. So what happens if I build on the persistent is that I should see an increase in size here, but I should not see an increase in size here. This is 8 megabyte at the moment. Right, so if I save all... it's building the lights. Okay, fuck. Okay, fine. I didn't want to build the lights. I clicked on build, but I want to build only the navigation meshes. Anyway, it doesn't take much. The lights are very, very few in this level. Any NPC server off? What do you mean? What do you mean, Hula? Please, make a full phrase, huh? Full phrase. Okay, so if we save all... I get my 8 megabyte here. I get my 26 megabyte here. Wow, I get 30 megabyte now in build data. What the fuck? Even if the lights are only touching this small area? Holy shit. Okay, I mean, fine. I mean, I would prefer not, but if there is no other way, I guess this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, I get my 30 mega and I get my 20 mega. Okay, so basically I get navigation data, yes, and if I play in the persistent level, this guy follows me, right? This guy follows me. Does he follow also if I go very, very, very far away? This NPC doesn't want to follow me. Yeah, exactly, that's the problem. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. He's saying success, but yes, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Okay, so in this way it actually works. Okay, this way it actually works. Now, okay, but I had to rebuild. I had to rebuild on the top level, but with the nav meshes in the sub levels. Okay. Nav mesh is displayed. If I run the game from the P level, the NPC moves properly. Okay. Now, so this case seems to be the good one, right? Now, the case 2 is that I have everything in my persistent level. That is the case number 2, right? So I take this nav mesh and this nav mesh and I move them in the persistent, right? I move them into the persistent. So, and now I build, let me build only the path, otherwise we just spend time for nothing. So I build only the path. So what I'm expecting now is that the sides... The sides here went down a bit. Actually, it didn't go down a lot, but it went down a bit. My top level didn't change. It actually went down a bit. I have no idea why. Okay. No, it's not. What the fuck? Is it changing if I... Because now it's not the way it was. But anyway, let's play. It's not the way it was, boys. Server success. Server success, but it doesn't move. Why? Aborted. No, there is something weird, boys. I don't know. Maybe the building the path is not enough. I mean, you have to build also the geometry. What you need to have a full build. No, let me try to do a full build. I don't understand. Why now is aborted? I opened up the persistent level, right? And I rebuilt on the persistent level with the two maps open and with the two nav meshes at the persistent level. So why it should not work? I mean, when I say save all, I really hope that it's saving all for real. I don't know. No, it's not moving. It's not moving. It's not moving. So case 2 is not working, huh? No, but this is not matching with what I was seeing in our project, boys. It's not matching. It's not matching. It's not doing the same. It's not doing the same. Because in our project... Okay, let me open up our project 1 second. But I'm pretty sure that I have the nav meshes. And I got a super big 800 megabyte. I'm super confused now. I think it's very annoying that you cannot see exactly what is inside a UMap file. So you don't know where the stuff is going, right? You don't have control over that. Yeah, our main project is a bit bigger, definitely to load. There is a lot of stuff. Hello, Video Nomad. I'm good. How are you? I'm fighting with the navigation meshes, trying to understand. Okay. Yeah, you see that. You see that here we have all the navigation meshes in the persistent level, right? So if I load the main city, I'm not getting a new navigation mesh. These are the navigation meshes that I have, and they are actually all in the persistent level, right? They are all here. They are all here. So why? No, that is strange, boys. So why it works in our game and doesn't work here? Right? Because that's the question now. Why? Because if I do P, you see that if I do P, I see the mesh. It's not recalculating it. It's permanent, right? So why? But you know, it's very true that it didn't increase the size of the persistent level. It didn't. Like if it didn't really recalculate, you see that this thing is still 8 megabytes? So it didn't change at all. It didn't change at all. So even if I have those two in the persistent level, right? It's not changing. This thing is bugged. I think that this thing is bugged, boys. Is strange. It's very what it's doing is very strange. This thing is very strange. Doesn't make any sense. Navigation building completed. Okay, save all. This is still the same. There is still 8 megabytes. Okay, let me do something a bit drastic. Let me delete the build files. Let me delete the build files, and okay, I will have to close this. Let me delete the build files. Let me delete them. Let me launch it again. There is something that is not working as expected here. There is something that is not working as expected. I don't know if the problem is that maybe he finds the navigation built previously and he doesn't override it. I don't know, it's so strange. Ha! You see? Now it's 20 megabytes. We didn't do any change. We didn't do any change. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Nicked. We didn't do any change. Rien. I forgot the French one. Nothing. And now it's 20 megabytes. And now we have the And now we have the navigation in the level, in the persistent level. And now I think this guy will work. Yes, and now this guy works. What the fuck? So basically, okay. Well, I mean, you just seen it. You just seen it live, and it's recorded. And it's recorded, so it's not that I made it up, you know. So we basically rebuilt Pat. Okay, we rebuilt Pat, and nothing was happening. The guy was not moving. I deleted the build data files. I did the same. No change, just opening my persistent map and loading the two maps. And now we have the 20 megabytes, you know? And now we have the 20 megabytes in the main level. And the guy moves. Right? So, So should we always ignore the build data files in our SVN and just rebuild them at the end? I think that's probably the best idea. I think the best idea is to avoid to have build data exactly. Excluding build data files from source control. That's exactly the question that I have. Exactly.
Everything will be fine, don't worry.
Yeah, I think that we should avoid checking in the build data into. The only issue, you know, the only issue is that if we do that, I mean, I don't care whether we don't have navigation in the source control system. I think it makes no, but. Okay. I think this is very good, because I'm starting to understand more. Okay, so this case worked. So now the third case, because there is a third case. is that I have one nav mesh bound volume. I have one nav mesh bound volume for each submap stored in the submap, yes. But here, instead of loading the P level, I load each submap and rebuild paths, right? So let's understand what happens in this case. But again, I think that we should absolutely delete the build files. I think I don't trust anymore. I don't trust anymore. What the fuck? Yes, because I didn't rebuild the lights, because the lights goes into the, yeah, the light go into the build data, but unfortunately the path go into the UMap. So when you rebuild the UMap, okay, but that's fine. I think I don't have a big issue on that, because that is changing based on the geometry, so you're saving it anyway. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine, boys. So the test we are gonna do now, and by the way, our wiki is a public wiki, yeah? So if you want to see that is our wiki. If you want to see what I'm typing or the changes that I'm doing, or if you want to search our wiki for information, I'm trying to record there, you know, all my tests and most of the stuff that we do. So if you want, you can check it there. The point is, wait, I got distracted. 1 second. I got distracted. No, let me close my well, I mean, it's not taking too much memory. It's fine. So the test now is to move this into so to move this one into map 01 and to move this one into map 02, okay, and save everything. Right now, opening the submap. So if I open the submap, I see the nav mesh, right? If I press P, well, it will generate it, but it's just because it generated dynamically, but it's not there, right? It's just trying to regenerate it dynamically, but in reality it's not in the file. So, but if I build path here, and I save, and then I go in map 02 and I build the path, right, and I save, but I mean the result is that my character will not move, right? My character will not move. And then I go, but wait a second, the case is that because if I now open the main map and rebuild the path, I will be in case number 1, right? But that is okay. So if I do this, load each map and rebuild the path, yes, exactly. So in this case, I think I will get, yeah, we'll get the stuff into the submaps 14 and 9. But I think if I play, I mean, my character, I think, will not move. Because, wait, I need to load up this though. I think this guy will not move. Holy shit, he moves? Okay. That's interesting. So he finds the... I was expecting 100% that he would not move. He's chasing me, but it's exactly my speed, so... if you go at the end of the map... Wait a second, eh? Because here is the other test. So here we are at the end of the map. Okay, let me... Okay. So here we are at the end of the map. And here is where map 01 splits from map 02, right? So if I go after... Ah, you see? It's not coming here. That's the problem. But it's coming here. So he managed to walk within the same map. Yeah. But he cannot do it on the two maps. Okay, so that's a good test. So we can say... all nav mesh is stored in the... No. The nav mesh is stored in each sub-level. If I open the sub-map... so we are basically in the same case of 1, but... If I run the game, the NPC moves properly... Wait, moves properly within the same map. Right? In this case, it moves properly within the same map. This one we need to retest it because we need to also test multi-map. But in this case, the NPC doesn't move properly. The NPC cannot cross. The NPC cannot cross the map. Cannot cross the map borders. Right? Hello, who joined? Hey, Manadono. Hey, thank you for the raid. Hey, hello, welcome raiders. We are working on an MMO. What is Manadono doing on Twitch? Let me check immediately. Manadono. Let me check immediately. Okay, now it's me. Yes, that's what happens when you do this. But if I go here... What were you doing? Ah, you were working on maps and checking a bit of stuff for the marketplace. And what else?
It renders like this, and it's really funny to me.
Building funny things. Rendering Lumen. You're using Lumen, huh? Attach to component static mesh. I see. It's kind of a randomly generated thingy. A randomly generated character. And I guess that now here you are playing something. Let's see. Hello, anyway. I think I can open the wiki. At least I've been reading it before. Yeah, you can open the wiki. You can also edit it. There is a flag in front of the wiki. Yeah, but I gave you the address in the chat. There is a flag. It's not there is a flag. There is a Ukrainian flag. Explicitly. Parametric blocking tools. So the point is that in this mode, our character cannot cross between maps, which is super bad, right? Which is super bad. So this for us is a no-go, obviously. Now, let's try the two other cases. Actually, I want to test this case because this is the case that at the end I would like to use. Okay, let's test the first case. So this is GG, it doesn't work at all. So I go back to my map 1 and map 2. I keep the nav meshes into each map and I rebuild path, right? Potentially deleting the build data. And the question is when you... Okay, sorry, I have too many questions in my mind at the moment. Too many questions. I hope to have some answers one day. Okay, so we are in the same situation right now. I cannot invalidate the... Yeah, because it's not... But fine. So if I play now... And I go... Very, very, very far away... And the NPC is trying to follow me. And we go at the end of the map. And maybe I can just move my starting position now, so it'll be a bit easier. But anyway, yeah, I will do that. So if I go here, the guy's coming. Hello. Okay, now if I go here, okay, it goes cross map. Okay, that's perfect. That is exactly what we need, right? So in this case, it works cross map. So the NPC can cross the border, the map borders. Now, in this case, I don't know. I mean, we can test it again. Okay, fine. I mean, I don't really care at this point because this case is the best, right? And so we use this one. We will use this one, but just for sake of completion and to say that we did all the tests the way we wanted, we go to the persistent level, we move the nav meshes back to the persistent level, and then we rebuild the path, right? Let me save all because you never know. And we rebuild the path, right? Now, there is the case where we should get... This is the case where we should get the main level at 20 megabytes. Yeah, you see, it already increased. It already increased. Even if I didn't save it yet. But fine. Yeah, this is 20 megabytes. This is 14 and 9. You know what? It seems he's not deleting the old... That's very strange. Okay, anyway. Let me move just the starting position, otherwise it takes me too much time to go where I need to go. What the fuck? What? The level disappeared. You crazy? I know, because this is map 00. Okay, yeah, sorry. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna move this guy. At the border, okay, so we start here because otherwise we just spend time walking. So me and him will start in this location. Right? Okay. So if I ask him to come to me, it does. If I ask him cross map, it does. It took like a weird rotation, but it does. The only problem I have, boys, is the following. It seems to me that like now the files, you know, are... So we have this 20 megabytes, right? Okay, the 20 megabyte, I see. But in theory, if now I move back my... Because it seems there is no cleanup. That's the problem. Okay, but if I move this back to map 01, right? And I move, assuming it's the right one. Wait. Yes, it is. And I move this one to map 02. And I rebuild the path of everything. I'm assuming... Well, this one you can unload. I don't care about that one. So the 20 megabytes should become 8, right? Otherwise, if it doesn't become 8, means that it's keeping the old files somehow. Oh my god. Are you serious? I became 8 now. So I became 8 on save. You see that there is something fishy going on. 14 and 9. That's ridiculous anyway. I know what is happening, but it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So when you rebuild a navigation mesh on the other map, it's not deleting it from the sub maps. So basically you have it double. You actually have it double. You do. You have it double. So in reality, the test that I did now was using the previous run. It is so stupid. So basically to do the real test, I have to open map 01. No, wait. To do the real test, I have to clean up manually the thing. So I have to move this and this. No, wait. I have to move this and this to persistent. I have to open the submaps, rebuild path, which basically will flush them out because there is no... So now when I save map 1 from 4, you see? From 14 it becomes 7. And I open map 2. This is crazy anyway. But anyway. And I build map again. And I save it. So now I actually flushed away the navigation from the 2 maps. Right? And now I open again my main. And I build path here. And I'm expecting that now... Wait, I need to load map 1 and map 2. And now I'm building path. And so now in theory I'm expecting these two to stay the same, right? So this one should not change. Only the persistent level should change. So I save all. Okay, these ones didn't change. And this one became 20. Okay, so here we are really in the situation where the nav meshes are on the persistent level. This is the case. The problem is that this means that my other tests are fucked up as well, because I had this in... Well, no, because it cleans up the 20. So this one is correct. This one is correct. This one, we are testing it now with a clean situation. So if I ask him to come to me, it does. If I ask him to go cross map, it does. So Okay. Now, to do this one properly, though, to do this one properly, to do this one properly, is a bit of a puzzle, you know. So it's really a puzzle, this thing, because I need the main to be 8, right? So I need to move this one down. I think I know how to do it, huh? I know how to do it now. You may say, why you are doing that? I'm doing this because I want to understand exactly how it works. So if I rebuild path now, my main file from 20 will go to 8. Okay, hopefully. Because now we understood how it works. Okay, now is 8. But now I have the files in the submaps, right? Yeah, which is okay. But now I want to open each submap, right? I want to open each submap and rebuild paths separately. And save. Open map 2. Rebuild. And save. Okay. And so now we are, I mean, the files look similar, but basically now we are really in the case number 3. Right, now we are really in case number 3. And in theory here the NPC cannot cross the map. Uh-oh. Oh no, wait. I need to load the main level. Okay. So here in theory the NPC comes to me. Oh no, it's already broken. It doesn't even move. It doesn't even move within the same map. Okay, so this is even more. Okay, so this is really completely broken. Okay, it's fine. I was expecting that. So it cannot move. So in this case 3, obviously, I tested it just for completion, but it's something that is obviously impossible for him to right, because the. Well, impossible, I don't know. But anyway, we don't care about case 3. So case 3, we will never use it. Okay, so we validated that. And let me save this because it is final now. It is final. So we validated the fact that we have 3 cases. One, I have one nav mesh bound for each map. Stored in the I mean, I have one number mesh bound in the submap. That is anyway the case, but anyway, the deep. Sorry, let me rephrase this because it's not very good. One nav mesh bound volume for each submap stored in the submap itself. Yes. But it's the same for this one as well. And one is mesh volume for each submap, but all the nav mesh band volume are in the P level, right? So that's the difference. That's the difference. Okay. So what we see is that if the nav if I load the P level and rebuild the path, then I get the nav meshes in the sub level, which is exactly what I want. Because the sides in terms of memory and in terms of disk space, but mostly memory, is divided in the sub level. So I don't have a big giant permanent level, persistent level, right? And it is good. This other case is that I bring all the nav meshes at the P level, but here I have the problem of the sides, and here I have the problem that the PC cannot move, right? So based on this, solution 1 is the best. And solution 1 is the one that we should use. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. So now this means that, okay, this is one problem. The second problem is, do you think that when I ship is rebuilding lights or not? That I never understood. So is shipping, when I say no, because if that happens, we can avoid having the build data completely, you know, in Subversion, which will save a ton of space. So scripts. When I build my shipping client, right? And I do slash dash cook slash build. When I do slash build dash build, is this build including everything, right? Including lights, including path, including, yeah, right, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure. So if that's the case, I think we are good. Right? I think we are good. If minus build does... If minus build... obviously. It's not here. GG. I need the command line options. Command line build. Command line. Fuck. Come on. You are jumping, Electra? Where do you want to go? There is people that are spawning. Why people are spawning there? Do they spawn there? Or do they go there? I mean, is there a way to go there? I think it's impossible. Should be no possibility to go there. Let me move you guys a bit around, okay? You. I'm moving you around the map. Randomly, yeah? I didn't select anyone, it's just random. Some people decided to jump down immediately. Okay, so the point is what? The point is... Can I have the list of build? Okay, anyway, let's assume that is the way it is. Command line. Yeah, command line, exactly. Maybe easier. Command line. Yeah, can I have the command line arguments? Hey, bro. Ah, okay. Z. Automation tool. Probably you need to search automation tool. Probably need to search automation tool. Okay, fuck it. I assume that the slash build. Why we cannot find the command line thingies? Automation technical guide. Minus build is never here. Minus build is never here. No way. Ah, I want to catch the star. Yeah, if you catch the star, you get points. You actually get points. Try again. Look, look. I added few stars. I added few stars. Ah, we're gonna catch it. Jump now. Jump. Late. I mean late. You didn't jump. Boom. And the guys that are there are catching all the stars. They catched all the star easy. Because they are above. But anyway, if you jump, yeah, you can catch it. Okay, anyway. So let's assume that build is doing what we want, right? So in this case, we would just build, but we need to be in option 1, eh? Yes, if we are in option 1, so okay, so let me say that. Chosen. So this is the one that we have selected, okay? Okay, so let me do this change. So the change is the following. Look at this change. We go here. We go here. And we delete all the build data files. All of them. And we check it in without build data files. All of them. GG. I'm gonna delete them all. Well, actually, I could save them and copy them. I could copy them to another place and regenerate them, but I have to regenerate them anyway. So let's do the clean work, right? The way it should be done. So now the only thing is the navigation map. Okay, so we delete them all. And then we go here and we commit and we say yeah, all of those, and we say removed all built data files from SVN. You should not check those in, but you can keep them on your machine, right? I'm going to delete them all. GG. GG. So now the point becomes that, let me just tell this to Tua that I guess is not connected. Maybe it is. I don't know. Okay, so there is a good move. There is a good move, and I think we should have done it a long time ago. But I was not aware exactly what it was working. Now, the only thing that we need to say is that navigation meshes should be, you should click on build path, right? Well, actually you can click on build. You can click on build, it's not a problem clicking on build. But there is a third option. Fuck. Wait, wait. There is a fourth option. There is a fourth option. There is a fourth option. Yes, 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 unfortunately. The difference is this, that here I have I have loaded the P level and loaded all the sub maps, right? While there is another option that I want to test where I rebuild one map at a time. And I don't know if this will work actually. So I keep my setup as it is, right? So I have my persistent level and I have my nav meshes inside the submaps. But I load only map 01, right? And I build the path. Assuming that I clean it up on... Yeah, let me... assuming that I built it up... Yeah, now it's 8. Okay, it's good. It's good, it's good, it's good. So we rebuilt on this submap, okay. Then we unload. We load map number 2, right? And we build the path again. Now, if this breaks, we may have an issue. But may still be fine. Okay, so I save it. So now basically, you know, I have regenerated separately the two maps. For some reason it's asking me to save third person example map. I have no idea why. But let me save it on map 02. Okay, now I play. And now I want to see if this guy moves. Okay, it does. Which is very good. Fuck. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so in this case, he cannot cross. Why cannot cross? Probably because there is a gap between the two maps. It's not the same network. It's not the same network of... yeah, it's like if it's an isle. We can try to visualize it and see. If I go on... but this was a very good test, boys. It was exactly what I needed. You see? Yeah. There is actually... Now, why... Wait. Yeah, because he's showing me only the ones that are applicable. Yes, he's showing me the only one that are applicable, but... But anyway, it doesn't cross. The guy doesn't cross. He cannot cross, you see? There is a separation. Now, or I did a mistake, but I don't think so. That the two are not overlapping. But I think they are, because I did it by purpose, right? Yeah, this one, you see, this one goes here, so they are overlapping by 2 or 3 meters. Okay, but it is a very good test, because it means that unfortunately we cannot rebuild path of the map separately. Right? So we load the P level and we load one submap at a time and rebuild the path. The nav mesh is on the same level, yes. Even if nav is yes. But if I run the game in the P level, the NPC move probably within the same map, but an NPC cannot cross the map borders. There is a visible gap between the two maps in terms of nav mesh. So this one cannot be used. So we cannot regenerate, we cannot build, right? We cannot build map by map, but it's fine because anyway we will do it at release. But it is, yeah. So basically what I'm saying is that if you have to do it in your projects for whatever reason, be aware of this, okay? Be aware of this. So the number one is the only solution. All the others have problems. This solution has the problem that the NPC cannot cross. Right. This solution has the problem that all the nav meshes are stored in the persistent level, and so it is creating a huge file, and it's a super bad idea. And the last one is that the NPC cannot move at all, right? So that is the one that we need to use. GG! This is exactly what I wanted to test tonight, and I'm pretty happy that we figured it out. Now let me see if we can do the other piece though. The other piece is the lights. Didn't document it at all, huh? Okay. I didn't document at all the lights.
Clap, clap.
Well
done.
Well done. Thank you, Trevor. It's always good to have a clap from you. No, what I want to say is, should we document, you know, the developer flow, right? The developer flow, because I think it's very important. The developer flow. So basically, what should a developer do, right? What is building levels? Because I don't think we have it anywhere. I don't think we have it anywhere. We have naming convention, triangle count, career rigging, character size, character animation, city design, skybox, material, texture, optimization. Optimization with light maps, LOD, and collision. What is this? Did I do this page, or who wrote this page? Me? No, it's Way. I don't know if I agree with this. I mean, it's partially correct. Ah, yes, it's this one. Yeah, this is good anyway. This is good. If there were a few pictures, would have been easier to read, but I think this one is good. No, I think I want to add a new chapter. which is I don't know how to call it, but basically I would like to call it something like map what? Maps flow, basically is the way, I mean, what you should click, not click to properly save your maps workflow, let's say. Let's try to call it maps workflow. It's probably not the best name, but it's fine. It's probably not the best name, but maps building, maps editing workflow, something like that. Maps editing workflow. So what I want to say, at the moment I don't have a lot to say, but I want to say just a few important things. I want to say that it's mostly notes at the moment, but it may become a better page. So what I want to say is that I want to say the build data files are storing light maps recalculations, right? I think I'm storing the light maps. Like if I go now, I should see no light maps, right? I think my light maps will be empty, correct? Yeah, 0 light maps. If I rebuild lights, let me just see. If I rebuild only lights, right? And this one at the moment is 8 megabytes. I think as soon as I rebuild lights, it will generate a build data file for each sub map, and probably also including the persistent level, by the way. And I will see the light maps in this here, right? And if I delete it, it will go away. You like the fact that the monster cannot chase you, huh? Yeah, but this is exactly the problem I'm trying to solve. But you like it. So you can shoot him, from distance. Typical. Okay, if I save all now, let's see what happens. Yes, you see, you get all the build data files, exactly. You get all the build data files. Now we got a bit more though, because this one became like 26 megabytes, so... That I don't like. I get my light maps here. Okay. Is it possible to know what the hell this build file contains? No, huh? Because like, okay, because like why now? So if I delete these build maps now, right? If I delete them and I open my project again, in theory I should not see the light maps anymore, right? You want to stay safe? I see. Yeah, you see, light map is 0 now. Now the only question is why it became 26 megabyte though. That's a bit weird. I was not expecting it to become 26. I mean, why increase the size anyway of the sub level, even if, you know. If I could just list the content of a UMap file, I would be so happy. Is it possible to unpack a UMap file? Can I list the content of a UMap file? It would be so nice to see what the hell it contains. But anyway, for what we tested and what we know, right? For what we know, maybe if any of you has more information, please let me know. But build data files are storing the light maps recalculation for sure. And I think they are also storing the probes, right? Because I don't see probes. Let me say, visualize. No. Yeah, lighting sample, I have it on, right? But at the moment, I don't see them. Right? So this means that also the probes are going into the which is good. I think I like it. So the build file are storing light maps, probes, light maps textures, light map textures, light probes, and let's say volumetric light probes and samples, and but they are not storing the, while UMap files are storing the navigation paths, right? The navigation paths. So yeah, so what I want to say is that map creation flow or something. I don't know if it's really a map creation flow, but is no. So what I want to say is that you should never check in. You should never upload build data files in SVN, right? Those will be regenerated when we create the shipping release. If you change the geometry or the landscape of the map, of the level, then you can click on well, it depends if you need to test it. If you need to test it, I think you can click at least on build, but I think you can click on build anyway, you know. So build path, right? That is created by build lightning only. Build lightning only. So I think you can click on build on the big button, right? or anyway, I would say it doesn't matter. You can click whatever you want, because anyway, if you are not storing the build data, I think we are fine, right? So I think we are fine. So the only advantage is that the other will get it for free, but it is the same. It's basically the same. You can click on the build button, but it's not required. The build button will only work locally. I mean, it will only, you know, kind of, yeah, work locally map by map, but you should never do it. Ah, yes, and by the way, if you do it map by map, it's not working anyway, so those will be regenerated when we create the shipping release. Let's say if you want to test locally, right? If you want to test locally the full game, including lights and NPC movement, then you need to, so it is what I was thinking, right? So for the relight, if you want to test locally the full game, including lights, then you have two options: or you open the whole map, or you load all the levels, and relight. But it is taking like forever, and so it's definitely something that we are not gonna do. Load all the levels and beat lighting only. Yeah, what I'm realizing, boys, is that we don't care, because anyway, when we generate the shipping release, right? So who cares? I mean, the only, yeah, you need to be able to see that the single levels, but I would never suggest this if you want to test everything at the same time, because anyway, it will take you forever, and it will. Okay. Let's say this gives the best result on map borders, but is I think you can avoid it. I think you can avoid it. So, or you can you can load the persistent level plus one or more maps you want to relate. I don't know. And build lighting only, right? Now, in this case, the single maps will be okay, but the borders between maps will not, right? So, but I think we absolutely don't care about that. If you ask me, I think we really don't care. So if you want to test the full game, including locally the full game, including NPC movement, then you need to, and basically I can point to the other page, because basically you need to use option 1, right, of navigation meshes. So you need to load the P level, load all the sub maps, rebuild the path. Yes, Yes, exactly. I think I can point to this page, it's probably easier. Then you need to follow option 1. And that page is called PS Unreal Navigation Meshes. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, good. This was a bit... I mean, it took a bit of time, but I think it was very, 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 very useful because at least we understood a few important things, right? Okay, that's very good. Unfortunately, it's midnight. Oh my god. It's already midnight. Sorry, I'm just writing because there is someone that found a bug in the maps and is falling down, and I'm just checking that, you know, if we can repeat that bug. And can you check if we have a hole, and in case can you confirm by teleporting there? So okay. Okay, this is good. Unfortunately, it's midnight, so we used pretty much all our time for this, but I think it was a good test. We did all the possible tests, and this map was nice. Now, we still have a problem, okay? And the problem is that, for what I understand, having navigation on our full world is probably too much. And so I think that what I will do, I will probably limit it. You know, I will probably limit it. I think we will have to do a few more tests to really understand the way. I mean, to really understand the extent of that. But for example, right? For example, let's say that there is the map, and we already know that this mountain. I mean, you cannot go on this mountain, right? So instead of generating a giant navigation mesh like that, right? Imagine that these are the borders of the map, right? So that we know that it's impossible to cross it, right? So instead of doing that, we could just... yes, let me test another thing that I wanted to see. I wanted to see if I make... But I don't think it's going to make a difference. No, it's not. No, it's not gonna. Now, we could just restrict, you know, the navigation to the areas that we feel that it should be walkable. I mean, it's a bit of a compromise, but I don't know what else to say. I mean, I can try to generate it for, I mean, really everywhere like we do now. But my fear is that it would take a bunch of memory. Like we said, it's about 2-3 gigabyte more of memory. And on our server side, considering we have only 16 available, it may be a deal breaker, right? So we may end up with swapping memory, and that would be a problem for sure. That would be an issue. Okay, guys, I think I'm going. I think it was a good session. I think I'm gonna go. Tomorrow we'll be here in the evening as usual. And so we'll see each other tomorrow. I hope that now that we have a better understanding of this, if I can mirror this setup, right, in the real game. So I'm going to use option 1 in our game, and then probably regenerate the nav meshes everywhere and see if they properly flow into the maps. I'm also going to relight everything, right? And I can do it in 2 ways. I can do it just by generating a new package, which probably is the easiest. And then I think we can release the update. You want to do a raid? How many are we? We are 8. Okay, with 8 people I think we can. And not be ashamed that we are too little. I mean too few. I think we can do that. We have Warka. We can go to Warka. Why not? Let's go to Warka. Assuming that it's developing, but I think it is. And if it's not... And if it's not, it's the same. I mean, maybe this time it's playing. Sometimes, I don't know, it's developing. Okay, so we will raid Warka. So stay for the raid, say hello, and say that plane ship is awesome. No. Say that Warka is awesome. But anyway, I will see you tomorrow evening with more development stuff and with more good stuff. See you, boys. Bye bye. Bye bye.